Hello everyone, welcome to the Shanghai Grand Prix Round 5. I'm happy to observe with you these games, and let's start with round number 1. I'm playing white pieces and my opening here is knight f3. Black is using pawn pushing to d5, I'm attacking the pawn with my pawn, and I think black is making a mistake. They're protecting it with a knight. The point that they're giving me a lot of space in the center, and I love it. I think all of us do this. So, what black is choosing? They're making a pin to my knight and queen, but I'm totally okay with this because I have a lot of nice developing moves. I'm developing firstly my dark squared bishop. Black is trying to develop their dark squared bishop too, but for me it's not a big problem. I'm developing pieces in the center, dominating in the center, and slowly one by one all of my pieces going outside. Here black made a trick. They're trying to break my center, pushing pawn to c5, and to be honest, I must to continue to attack the queen side, but I pushed pawn to d5. It's not a big mistake, but it's actually losing a bit of advantage. Pawn on d5 is getting weaker, but I knew that after knight f6 I have an option how to protect it. So first of all I'm pushing light squared bishop backward, and I had the idea to continue to attack the bishop with pawn on g4, but immediately I used my bishop and making check to the king. Black is protecting it, and I'm making a castle. Black is making a little mistake. They could get okay position because I didn't use g4. But I'm making a pin on another knight, and here I got a chance how to make a terrible thing for black. I can break their castle. So firstly I'm capturing one of the knight, another knight cannot capture because it was pinned, and I'm capturing the second knight with my second bishop. Now black castle is destroyed. Knights are jumping closer to black king. Also, I think it's a mistake that black is capturing my another knight, because I can capture on f6 and it's an intermediate move. It's a fork, but of course I can capture queen, but I don't want to lose my queen. After black king is running forward, I'm just capturing black bishop with my queen and protecting my knight. It makes me still keeping my attack, and point that black queen is hanging. So black must move their queen. I'm totally okay with this. Maybe after queen e7 it was a bit stronger to move my knight to h5 or maybe g4, but I decided to put it in the center on e4. Because knight in the center has more options, and another idea was to put one of my rook to e1 and make some nasty discovered attack. So bishop goes to e5. I'm still following my plan, preparing a discovered attack. Bishop is capturing my pawn on b2, and actually look at black timer. They have only 7 seconds till the end of the game. I don't want to hurry up with jumping my knight. I'm just attacking black bishop, and unfortunately game finished right now because black timer is stopped. But after bishop f6 I have a lot of nice options with my knight. For example, knight can jump to g3 and after to f5. Okay. This is the game number 2. I'm playing black. so happy to start this game, and it was kind of surprise for me that white chose this opening. So we are starting the game with usual moves. I'm sure that all of you have seen this opening 100 times, 1000 times, even more, and white is making a little mistake. Knight goes to c3, so immediately I'm capturing the pawn in the center and pushing my pawn to d5. It's a fork, it's a little trick, but the point that it's already my advantage and I'm the side which is playing for advantage. Queen goes to the center, it cannot be pushed away. White is using pawn for protecting the knight. I am totally okay with this because I can nicely develop my pieces one by one, and I cannot tell the same about white pieces, sorry. So my bishop is pushed, but of course I'm still keeping the pin, and maybe the bishop can follow to g6, which is also okay for me. Here white made a funny trick, they go in bishop h6. Of course, if I take it, it will be fork on f6 and I'm losing my queen, so that's why I just made a queenside castle. And another mistake from white, their bishop is hanging and they're attacking my queen, but pawn on d3 is totally weak. I'm capturing it twice, which made me up one pawn. Remember that bishop h6 is still hanging, so bishop is going back, and I'm just pushing without stopping, pushing knight by f5, knight is jumping to g5, another check for white king, bishop b4, and after bishop blocks, I'm pushing another knight, pushing pawn to e4. Okay, my bishop is captured, but I'm taking it with the knight, also threatening with knight c2. White knight jumps to e5, it's a fork on c2, and after I took rook and white took mine, I also can take a knight. White king is running and trying to stop the pawn. It's succeed, to be honest, but point that I can catch also another knight by a pin. Yeah, we are changing knights, but my knight at a1 actually was almost dead. Now my rook is running to the second rank, and okay, it's set to lose d3 pawn, but I can take few more for that pawn. So taking f2, taking also b2, white still continuing the game, that's a bit funny. I'm checking the king and slowly, move by move, I'm getting more and more space and more material. So white's still trying to find some ideas, they trying to open files for the rook, but of course I'm versus this, because I have a passed pawn, the pawn is going to h5, and I'm sure that it will be easy for me to promote the pawn. Pawn goes to h4, 3 more steps till the queen. I'm protecting my pawn because it was attacked, so bishop is helping to the pawn go a bit forward, but I'm such terrible guy, I'm not giving to white rook go inside and check my king, so king is protecting himself by okay, you got me, the king is protecting himself. So pawn is already on the third rank, we are checking the king. White doesn't have a lot of moves. I'm trying to put my rook on g2 and pawn will be promoted. White is still making checks. Black king is okay, actually directly can go to c6. But I try to exchange rooks again. Now king c6 is also a good one, and what to do for white? Okay, he's attacking my bishop, but I can support it with my pawn. And no more moves for white, white give up. And the game from the round number 6. I'm playing white, and again it's knight f3. Black tried to make a stone wall, I think, with f5, but there is one nice trick from me, it's pawn e4. So I'm exchanging e-pawns, and pawn f5 is getting weak. I'm getting nice development, I'm getting the center, and black even didn't fight for the light square diagonal, which is opened. As there is no f-pawn, I can attack diagonal a2, g8. Here I'm attacking the pawn. And by the way, in this game was one funny moment, which will be next move. So I developed already 3 pieces. For black it's not such a lot of plays. I'm pushing pawn to d6 because I want to conquer more space. I don't want to give black knight the 6-6 square. And after castles and black is going knight d7, actually I could just took pawn on f5, but I didn't do it. I just developed the 4th piece in the center, and just looking what black is doing. Black's trying to break my nice pawn on d5. I'm exchanging my knights firstly, because after I can take pawn on c6, and I'm sure that my bishop can be, both of my bishops can attack a lot of nice diagonals. Pawn f4 was a nice move, so I'm just moving my bishop to d2. It's not a big deal because bishop will be happy later, maybe go to b4 or somewhere else. But let's look at pawn c6. Now it's super weak, and pawn e5 is also weak. So first of all I'm attacking the central pawn. After my knight is going to the empty square in the center, and I'm going to e4, because if black knight take it, I will take with my queen, and we'll look to the checkmate and also c6 pawn. Here I had few options. I actually can use both of bishops to conquer b4 and c4. Again, I'm threatening with a discovered attack, putting rook at d1. After climb the move queen e8, I'm attacking the rook, and after attacking rook again with my knight. So I'm getting closer and closer to black pieces, to black king. And black already has a lot of time pressure, to be honest. So you can see that my opponent is looking at the timer, but it's not easy to find the right move. So he's moving rook d7. It's already a trouble, because after check and knight d5, I can put pressure on that knight and also attack h7, so that's why he's moving g6, and here is nice sacrifice. Rook d5, and actually black is automatically losing. So he took it with the rook, I took with my bishop. After pawn takes bishop, it will be queen d5 and double attack, but as you see, under time pressure, opponent just made a wrong move, an illegal move. He tried to move bishop to d7, but it's not possible. As you see, arbiter is discussing with my opponent what happens. He added me 1 minute, and I won the game. Thanks for watching, subscribe, Elf Just Love, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.